she has now been upgraded to a Flagrant 2. So basically, all they had to do was just eject her. All they had to do was eject her and none of this happens. If the referees had ejected Marina Mabrey, nothing else happens. The Sophie Cunningham situation does not happen. And Sophie Cunningham, in fairness, did instigate.
Everyone missed the real headline. While analysts dissected slow-mo footage and commentators gasped in disbelief, Marina Mabrey flipped the script entirely. She didn't just play basketball. She launched her villain era with cinematic flair. One moment, she's locked in on defense. The next, she's starring in her own high-octane action sequence, dramatic enough to pitch to Netflix. The league slapped it with a Flagrant 2, and now talks of suspensions feel more like a Survivor WNBA episode. But was it an implosion or pure chaotic genius? Either way, compared to this, your Monday coffee spill feels downright peaceful.
Said, Marina Mabrey's technical foul from the Fever Sun game has been upgraded to a Flagrant 2, the league told ESPN. A Flagrant 2 comes from a standard fine.
Everyone's acting like Marina Mabrey just rolled out of bed, chose chaos, and body slammed someone for fun. But let's rewind. If you actually watched the game, not just caught a clipped highlight while scrolling Twitter in line for your iced latte, you saw what went down. The refs spent a full 10 minutes reviewing the play. 10 minutes. In basketball terms, that's basically a whole Netflix episode. And after all that, they decided nothing flagrant happened? That wasn't a review. That was a badly executed group meditation with whistles.
Marina Mabrey's comments the other day, and this is something that I'm really passionate about letting athletes know about this shit, because I think you get really encouraged by your fans, trying to tell you to go back at the trolls and shit like that. I think you guys are welcoming it way too much. And Marina Mabrey, I'm sure she had a lot of fans. I was one of her fans. I really loved her as a player until all of that shit happened. To me, that, I'm a ball player. That shit, you don't do that shit, man. It's just the way it happened. Shit like that would never happen in the men's league. You would never see a dude in the league getting his eye poked out and, him having his hand over his eye and then somebody just come hit check him or just, sneak him on some sucker shit. To me, that's like some cop.
Now, here's the kicker. Anyone with two working eyes saw it for what it was. A clear Flagrant 2. Not a Flagrant 1. Not a warning. Definitely not a friendly handshake. A textbook. No doubt about it, Flagrant 2. Mabrey got launched like it was the AFC Championship, not a WNBA game. This wasn't your standard court scuffle. Basketball beefs usually end with a stare down or a subtle shoulder check, not a full-body hit that looked ripped straight from an NFL highlight reel.
Sees is her opportunity to get her lick on Caitlin Clark. All she sees is her opportunity to say, Caitlin Clark, how dare you come in this league and steal my shine? How dare you? Marina Mabrey took.
But no, not in the WNBA. Here, when someone gets bulldozed in slow motion, complete with full elbow extension and a generous side of emotional damage, the refs react like your grandma trying to reset the Wi-Fi. Confused, hesitant, and ultimately no help at all. They huddled around the monitor, squinting at the replay like it was the Zapruder film, that emerged with a decision so baffling it deserves a permanent spot in the Hall of Shame.
The officiating in this league makes the NFL officials look good. That is crazy that entire sentence just rolled out of my mouth. Because the NFL officials are so bad that a lot of people think the game is rigged or scripted. By the way, I've seen that about the WNBA as of late too. Are the officials trying to navigate games in certain directions?
This wasn't some borderline judgment call. It was crystal clear. Marina Mabrey straight up leveled Caitlin on national TV, and the refs stared at the footage like, maybe she just tripped into it. Maybe gravity pulled her that way. Maybe the officials are working off some new quantum physics theory where Newton's laws stop applying inside the paint, because whatever logic they used, it sure wasn't from this universe.
Tell y'all something, man. The WNBA need to cut this shit out, man. They need to cut this shit out immediately, man. That girl, whatever the hell her name is, I'm gonna call her Jane Doe. That's how much pub she get on this channel. Jane Doe. Jane Doe was fouling Caitlin Clark all goddamn night, bruh. Hitting her all in the face, smacking her all in her face, man. It's okay to play tough defense, man. But fouling, this ain't rugby, bruh. This ain't this not that, bro.
Let's talk about the WNBA's magical lack of accountability. The NFL has a command center, so does the NBA. Even college football refs can phone a friend. But in the WNBA, We're still trusting 3 people on the floor who apparently left logic in the locker room. And don't say they did their best. Their best included missing open hand slaps, ignoring intentional collisions, and watching the same clip for 10 minutes before deciding Marina's face must have attacked the elbow. Self-inflicted, right? This needs real accountability, not a podcast appearance or PR statement. Bring Sophie and Gisheldon into the commissioner's office and hit play. Because let's be honest, JC came down the court like she had a vendetta and zero interest in playing actual basketball. She went straight for Sophie Cunningham on purpose. Not a play, not defense, just a drive-by with attitude. And Jai? She spent the night clawing at Caitlin Clark like it was Real Housewives. WNBA. She came for Caitlin, came for Sophie, and the second someone gated back, cue the tears, cue the drama, cue the refs remembering empathy exists.
What you expect, right, out of fierce competition. So I started talking to the officials in the first quarter, and we knew this was going to happen. You could tell it was going to happen. So they got to get control of it. They got to be better. They got to be better.
So Sophie was trying to hold on to her, still had a good grip on her, pulls her down, but it looked like Sheldon was kind of doing a tad bit too much, man. Doing a tad bit too much. Ends up falling, and now we're going at it. Look at this. Now we're going at it. Sophie was waiting on it. Now, I thought the chat was playing when they told me Sophie had a black belt.
Back to the office. Picture it. Sophie and JC get dragged into Kathy Engelbert's office. The door shuts. There's yelling, maybe a chair gets tossed, rulebooks are flying. Then silence. 5, 10 minutes pass. Who walks out? That's your new Commissioner Hunger Games. Honestly, it might be the only system that gets results. Because clearly Kathy's not watching the same league we are. The one where players have to enforce order because the refs are either napping or rehearsing for the WNBA. Maybe she thought this job was all photo ops and brunch. Sorry, it's basketball's Game of Thrones. Time to act like it. Instead, Marina gets punished like she just snapped mid-game and threw hands for fun. Meanwhile, Gisheldon's been in Mortal Kombat mode since tip-off with zero blowback. Marina should get a medal for restraint, not a suspension, for surviving 10 minutes of chaos while 3 blind refs debated whether physics still applies.
What's the right number of teams? I don't think it should be more than 16. Like, how do you know what the right number is?
I think you're right, Bill. You don't want to degrade the quality of the game by bringing in too many teams too fast. That's why people thought, like, my first thing I should have done is when I came in was expansion. And I said, no, we've got a lot of transformation of the business model, the economic model. We got to build confidence in this league, bring investment into this league and capital, get our owners all on the same page. And so that's what we've done. And now it's time to expand, which you're going to see the Valkyries this year.
Want the league to grow? Start with basic officiating. Call the obvious fouls, penalize the right player, and stop bending rules for whoever's trending. Right now, it's less professional basketball, more playground politics. And fans see it. The favoritism, the improv calls, the fake concern when someone gets decked on national TV. Middle school refs handle dodgeball better. At this point, bring in NASA. Let scientists review elbows at assault speed. At least they wouldn't need 10 minutes of puddles to make a call. And let's talk timing. Mabrey stands up for herself. Now she's unhinged. Meanwhile, Sheldon could latch onto someone mid-play and get called tenacious. What rulebook is this? Here's what should happen. Refs suspended, public apology issued, and Kathy locked in a room with slow-mo replays until she learns the difference between contact and combat.
And speak against the abuse that Caitlin Clark has taken and will continue to take until you do something. Until you do something, Kathy Engelbert, this is on your...
Technical upgraded to a flagrant 2 before. I've never seen that happening before. Like, it wasn't even called a flagrant 1, it was a tech upgraded to a flagrant 2. And obviously, nobody getting suspended is the right thing. Nobody getting suspended. These dumbasses are going to say Sophie deserves to be suspended. Like, if you suspend one, you